So this is Star Wars: The Old Republic. This is one of my Sith sorcerers. I thought I'd make this video for people new to the game. Try to keep this as short as I can, brief as I can. Just a introduction to the game, how it works, and what considerations are important at the beginning and what aren't. So this is where basically you will begin as a Sith. And in this particular spot, as a Sith Inquisitor, either a Sith Sorcerer or an Assassin. I've got them both, I love them both. That room behind me there, that is an instanced area where that red hexagonal screen you see transparent, you'll actually start out in there. Your class story will begin there. It will be a cutscene, and it is a very Star Wars epic introduction to the game. If you love Star Wars, you will love that part of the game. Never get tired of that. And then you will find yourself here as your class story begins, and you can do side quests as well. They've streamlined leveling. You don't actually need to do side quests anymore. I would still do them. They have very good side quests in the game. The storytelling in this game is very good. I love the story in this game. I don't like the latest expansion, but that's my taste. Some people love it. In general, this has very good storytelling, and I tend not to like story in games. So that makes a big difference to me. So now, you'll end up coming out here. Your interface will look different than this. I customized my interface. But the general way this works, you begin doing your class story. We are in Korriban. Let me just run outside and see the Sith Academy. This is the off-world orientation area. Actually, over here, if you make a Sith warrior, a marauder, or a juggernaut, you will come out here. And when we run out, we will see the Valley of the Woods. We see some new players here. And there is the Sith Academy. Tombs all around us. So, at a certain point in the story, how this works, you'll be going all around your first planet here, your first map. Most games don't refer to them as maps or regions or whatever. They go by planets in Star Wars: Old Republic. At a certain point in your personal story on the first planet, you will get your first companion. You get many companions. The companion with me now, right here, Shara Zavros. You see following me there. Don't get her till later in the game. You get quite a few of them. After you finish your personal story here, and I would advise doing side quests also, you should be level 10 really before you leave, and it's easy to do now. You will go to the Imperial Fleet. If you are on a Republic character, they're the Sith Empire and the Galactic Republic in this game, in this era of Star Wars. Imperials go to Imperial Fleet, Republic go to Republic Fleet, and from there you go to your faction's capital world. Roman Kos for the Imperials and Coruscant for the Republic. And at a certain point in the personal story on that second planet, you will get your own personal starship, which is not a little starfighter. It's a big live-in-it kind of ship. It's very cool. Really fun part of the game. Character building is greatly simplified in the game to the distress of some people and to the pleasure of others. I'm okay with it. I'll show you what making a character build is like in this game. It's quite simple. Combat proficiencies. This is my lightning sorcerer. I have a healer sorcerer as well. On the left side, you have your what they call discipline path. It goes from top to bottom. It used to go from bottom to top, and it was a skill tree, and you had 3 skill trees laid out next to each other. And every time you gained a level, you got a skill point. You put points wherever you wanted, starting at the bottom. So you couldn't just pick things at the top for balance reasons. Developers got tired of it, though. They said it was too hard to balance. Every time they updated things and changed skills, and, they had level cap increases. They said it became harder and harder to balance. I was never a big fan of hybrids. I found one that I liked, but had real weaknesses. I found hybrids to be gimps. Some people thought they were great, the best thing in the game. So they eliminated that. They got rid of skill points. And what happens now, on the left side, you choose your discipline, your spec, all right? And each class has 3 specs to choose from. You can change that spec anytime you want. Lightning. And what they did for build now, since everything over here from top to bottom, left to right, go like this, they automatically fill in except for these white triangles. So you have level 10 here. This is where you choose your discipline. So if you choose to be a Sith sorcerer, for the first 10 levels, you're just a sorcerer. You don't actually have a discipline or a spec. At level 10, you can choose your spec, your discipline. So then at level 10, they'll give you your first unique ability for your discipline. Then you get something else at 12. Then at 14, you get your first utility point. And your utilities are over here. And you pick your utilities as you level. Every so many levels, you get another utility point. The level cap is now 70, at which we have 8 utility points. So it's not a tremendous, as you can say, it's not a tremendously large build variety, but it's okay, it works. It works all right. You can change your utilities, you can change your discipline. You cannot change your class. So you can't say, well, my Sith Inquisitor or Sorcerer, I don't like them. I want to be a Sith Inquisitor Assassin. You got to make an Assassin. And it goes across the board. And that's a little confusing. They used to have base classes. You used to just be an Inquisitor for 10 levels, then choose Assassin or Sorcerer, and it was the same for every class. They did away with that, and it was probably a good thing. In the same way that there is a good side to the simplification they did with disciplines. They now put good things down low and early in order to discourage people from having builds with the best of all worlds. They used to put the really key abilities for classes, very good abilities and key abilities, very high up in skill trees. So you couldn't get them unless you put all of your points into a skill tree. So that meant you had healers and tanks that just didn't have any really good healing or tanking abilities until very late in the game, things like that. Now you get things very early, and it's really much better. Also, what is better with their system now, I think, is that you begin playing very much like your advanced class, as they used to call it, right away. If you are an assassin, you begin immediately using a staff weapon. Your first weapon is probably just like a training staff, and then you get a saber staff. You begin fighting in melee right away. Assassin is a melee class. The sorcerer begins getting his ranged abilities right away, and you start playing more like a sorcerer right from the start. And it used to be, for instance, the Imperial Agent Operative is a stealth class. You were just an Imperial Agent for 10 levels. Now you're an Operative right from level 1. And you actually get your stealth ability at level 5. So it's really nice. You really start playing as a stealth class quite early. The simplicity of it does not really bother me too much. I was skeptical of that, but it turned out well. They have level sync in this game, and they implemented it very nicely, I think. I was a little skeptical of it at first. Didn't know how they'd bring it into the game and implement it, but they did it nicely. I'm level 70, but here in the starter world, I am level 12. It's really nice because you can group with lower level people and you don't steal experience from them. That was not true in the past. A lower level player will group up with you and they get very little experience from kills, things like that. Now that's gone, so that's nice. And there's a Sith Marauder. He's got 2 training swords on his back, and years ago, he would have had 1 sword until he was level 10. He would have been a Sith warrior, not a Marauder or a Juggernaut until level 10. Now, he starts out right away dual wielding. Level 1, he's already got two sabers. So he already starts playing like a Marauder. Okay, let's see, we did level sync, which is pretty good. I think that maybe is all I will cover in this video. That's the basics of it. I think I'll go over the classes in another video, how the classes work, and they're pretty simple. It's a nice system in that there's very few restrictions on what you can do.